Hello and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Monday. My name is Wizzy Zero, you can also call me Wizzy, and today you could probably notice that we are not in Stoneblock. Now the reason being, as I mentioned in last week's video, is because we're kind of getting to a grindy part in the series, so that would make it so it's not entirely exciting to watch, I suppose. So we're going to be taking a break for that series until I get to the point where we can actually, I guess, make progress in the video. I suppose, I don't know. But as I did mention in last week's video, I wanted to start off with something different. And I actually have been wanting to do this for quite some time. Um, in fact, well, basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showcasing a custom server that I have. Um, it's not through any server hosting websites or anything. It's actually hosted right on my desktop right now. In fact, if I bring this up right here, this is the server. Or basically, it's not the server itself, but this is the program that's running the server basically. Um, and as you can see, I was on it because I thought that I had hit record, and unfortunately, I didn't. So that's why we're here now, because I'm a goofball and forgot to hit record. But at least recording now, so and I am looking over. The time is counting up, so yes, we are recording. Now, anyways, we're gonna get into my server. You can tell that it is 1.14.3. I started the server in 2012, as you'll notice. And back then, I don't remember what version it was. It was like 1.6.8 or 1.7 something. I can't remember, but basically this server here, or this map, is a custom world that obviously that we have made. But I had made it so it's basically multiple towns, and basically there's like different routes to get to the towns. This is in creative as well. I do want to just mention that right now. Everything in this server was created, or it was created, was built in creative mode. So I do want to mention that right now. Now another thing too is I hope this video isn't too boring, I guess, but we'll find out. But anyways, I do want to go around here. As you can tell, I do have these big blocky things, and these are actually street lights. So if we set the time to night, you can see that these turn on. And then I do have beacons around here as well. As some towers, as you probably have noticed. Now we started right in front of my house here. It is a big blocky house as well because, as you can probably tell, I do like redstone quite a bit, especially with lights. So I have a system in my house to turn lights on and off, like so, for each room. And then of course the toggle the lights on and off. Reason why I have a button for here is because I can go up here and turn the lights off as well. So we're gonna head outside though. We're not gonna showcase my house, because there's really not a whole lot to showcase from this, except for you may notice that I do have mossy stone bricks on here as well, and there's a reason for that. But I could tell you the reason for it, or someone who's probably smart enough watching this video could probably figure it out, what it is. But anyways, as you can see, we are in Towering Heights, and of course, that's because we have all these wonderful towers around us. Of course, we have a city hall here as well. Now, this tower here, as you can obviously see, is currently under construction. In fact, I just started this yesterday. I made a good amount of progress right now. It's going to be about I want to say 16 floors. And I kind of have it based on the World Trade Center in New York City. So it's kind of like square down there and then kind of twists to be kind of like a square at an angle this way. Um, in fact, this area used to be a mall, but I ended up demolishing. There wasn't really anything in the mall, so I figured there was no good use to have it, so I demolished it and then eventually started building this. And then as you can tell as well that I do have these roads labeled, at least in this town. And then these streetlights I also have labeled. I'm not going to really go into too much details about those. And then one thing about these towers is the older the towers are, the more basic they are, I suppose, because I only use torches to light them up, whereas now I use redstone lamps to light them up. And of course, I do, in fact, or also use signs to label when the buildings were built. So this is a Bank of Towering Heights, and this was built in 2017. So if we go into here real quick, and one thing about the server that me and my friends did, I'm the only one on here right now, but one thing we did, of course we have banks, so if you're going to have banks, you might as well have a monetary system. So we set a monetary system up as well. And one other thing I do want to mention too is I have teams that, and if I press tab here, you'll see I have $5,000, and then I'm also on the MGDOT team. So if I do team list, you can see I have 26 different teams, ranging from police to spleef teams. And the reason for the spleef teams is because I built a spleef arena in the server, but unfortunately it doesn't quite work. I mean, I never really finished it. But anyways, we're going to go down the vault real quick. And this vault is secured by a combination lock of 2 sets of 4. So pretty secure, although of course this is in creative mode. So I can just go ahead and do this as well. So although if I was to get the correct combination on here, it will also light the lights up. But in fact, if I go into here real quick, I do have a lever. And let me go right here. I'm going to turn this on as if we get the correct combination. And you can see this has opened up and lights have come on. So I have chests for each type of block that we used for our currency, ranging from ingots to, or no, nuggets to ingots to blocks. And of course, ranging from the smallest value to the highest value. And and how we determine the values, well, I'm actually the one that came up with it, but I have a book in here called Monetary Values that you can see is signed, so you can't change it. And I have in here listing what each item is worth. So like 1 iron nugget is worth $1, going up to 1 emerald block being $20,000. So we have the different values here, and there's only one value, or 2 values that overlap. We have the 1 diamond that's 100, and then 1 iron block that is also 100. But that is the only overlap that we currently have. So we do have that system, and then of course I have a ledger for the bank here. Lightning storm. I do have a ledger here showing what the bank has, shows how much of each type they have, and what the monetary value of that item is. So of course 500 iron nuggets, because that's one iron nugget equals $1. It's $500. Going up to the emerald blocks, we have 2,819 equals 5 million, over 5 million, and then totals overall. So this vault is currently holding $10 million worth of items. And then you can tell as well that this was fairly new because the ledger date is 10/27 of this year. So if we go back in here, close the vault back up, scramble all the combinations up, or put them back all to the default there. Vault's closed. Go out, take a look at some other places as well. And I will set the weather to clear. Okay, so right next door to the bank here, we do have a church. Of course, we have a steeple up here with a bell in it. And then here I have a note block for the bell. And then if we go inside, I do have another church that is similar to this one, except for it doesn't have a steeple like this. It has 2 bell towers on each corner. And this was built this year as well. I called it St. Steve's Cathedral of Minecraft. I mean, it's fitting, isn't it? So you have the main area here, stairs on either side, coat closets, and then just empty rooms here. And then if we go inside here, we have a whole bunch of pews. Like I designed the ceiling based off of the Notre Dame and Paris. So it has the wooden beams up top. And then of course we have the crosses in the back, a little piano in the corner with a jukebox, and I mean the stained glass windows. Oh, excuse me. So I mean it's a pretty basic church. I mean of course it's lit up with torches, but it's not as advanced as some of the other. Oh, in the coat closets I have armor stands for them. Then over here I have a boat cart track, if you want to call it that, or a go-kart track on ice. We're using boats because, of course, you know, boats go pretty fast on ice, especially blue ice. So that's what I have right here, and then I have all the flags out front showing that it's basically a go-kart track. And then you probably noticed too, like on the corner of these buildings, I have these redstone torches. These kind of act as those markers that you would see on towers. Now, one thing about this tower that's kind of special is it has beacons, and you can see that the glass panes are changing for the beacon colors. So if it was to turn on, there it goes. You can see that the beams are changing colors as well, obviously. Now I have that going on every corner of this tower. This is the only, or these are the only beacons that are currently alternating. And this tower is an older type of tower as well. Meaning I don't have the redstone, except for this room here, I do have the redstone wiring set up in here for the lighting. But as you can see, for the beacons, I have a redstone clock going around to alternate the glass panes. So I have rows for each corner. And there's 5 beacons on each corner. So you can see from here. And if I click on it, you can see that it's basically just doing set block where the glass pane is. I'm going to be changing, and then changing it to the white stained glass or blue stained glass. And then during Christmas, normally I don't leave these command blocks set up, but I think I'm going to, because normally I will have a system set up similar to this, although this is, I think, fancier than what I normally do have it set up for. But I usually have a system in here for the lights on this building to alternate between red and green for Christmas. Now I do want to find out when this tower is built real quick. This was built in 2015. Okay, so now this path didn't always connect out this way. I recently did that not too long ago either. But one thing I did do quite a while ago, as I pretended that there was like an old city that was here. The only thing that's basically remaining is remnants of an old, basically, tower. So we have like a stairwell right here. This would be the sixth floor, but as you can see, it's all in pretty sad shape. I mean, it's all overgrown, filled in with dirt, and yeah, it's definitely seen better days. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this corner crumbles in from now. But anyways, I don't know if I mentioned, as we were loading into the server, you probably did notice a loading bar. And the reason for that is because I have a custom resource pack running on this server. And we'll get to that here in a moment. So going over this section of the city we haven't gone to yet. One thing too, because I kind of mentioned about the towns and everything, I based it kind of on Pokemon, especially with how the routes were labeled. So I have Pokemon centers and Pokemarts laid around in some of these cities. And also, most of these buildings were built by me, but there are a few buildings that were built by some of my friends that have joined the server. Now, as you can tell, this is one of the Pokemon centers. I don't remember what generation I based this off of, but we have basically what's supposed to be the seats and table here. I mean, it's Minecraft, so it's not going to be very detailed, but yeah, so that is the Pokemon Center. We have a fountain here, which was built in 2012, and this tower I think is the oldest tower I have. This was also built in 2012. And then the reason it's built in sandstone is because if we toggle F3, you can see the biome is a desert biome. And I built these towers before I basically converted the sand to grass. Now this building here was built by one of my friends, Don Tell. So that's why that's there. And then of course I have a Towering Heights sign back there. And this building goes, I think, like 3 blocks from the height limit to all the way down to a little bit just above the lower end of the basically bedrock. I think the overall height or number of floors is like 49 or something like that. But this is built in the older style because I had just torches. And you can tell it's older style because it's only a 1 block gap in between floors. Whereas the newer buildings are not done like that. I don't do it like that anymore. I use redstone lamps. So right here I do have a subway station. And we'll go into that here in a moment. Now this, I was starting to build a map of Minecraft, but for whatever reason, all the maps and item frames had glitched out. So I had this filled out quite a bit, but unfortunately they disappeared because they glitched out for some reason. Don't know why, but anyways, I do have a Rubik's Cube house over here as well. Is of course solved. Now this castle right here was built by one of my friends. He has a lever. Is it this lever right here? No, he does have a lever. It might be inside here to fill in or make a path and to get across the lava. But of course, this is creative mode, so we can fly across. Now here we do have one of the Pokemon or Pokemarts. I don't know where the sign went for it, but have the Pokemart, kind of like the glass cases here. These are supposed to be like the fridges or whatever. But yeah, anyways, I have another tower here. This one, I think, other than the one that's currently being built, is the newest one, I believe, in this server. This was built in 2019. If we go inside here for a moment. This is actually supposed to be an apartment building, But of course, they're empty, so most of these towers are going to be empty. But we're going to go down into the basement here because I do want to show basically how I do the lights. So I usually have a wall, except for this building is set up a little bit differently. I usually do have a wall like this that will toggle on the designated floor or stairwell. So like I turn the lights off in the stairwell here now. But I can toggle on or off the lights for each individual floor. Usually. I don't have it set for like specific rooms, usually just per floor. So if I wanted to turn off the first floor lights, I could have flicked the switch for the first floor. And first floor would have been dark, but the rest of the floors would have been on. And then these ones, I think I did basically where I just have a switch on the ceiling here, because this is a little bit older. So I think I don't have like a, yeah. So like this one, I basically have a switch turning off right on the ceiling itself, turning off and on the lights. I didn't do the new system here, although these newer buildings as well. This one was built in 2016. This was the first one I did that had a water elevator, and most of the newer buildings I'm building now do feature water elevators going up and down. Now one thing about this map, we're at 21 minutes right now, one thing about this map is I have it split up so there are actually two states right now. There is Sungate and Mongrove. If we go back to here, you can see I am part of the Mongrove DOT. Of course, I can change at any time. But this tower here, we are currently in Sungate. So this tower is the Sungate Department of Transportation. And that's actually what this building is. It's the SGDOT tower. In fact, if we fly up towards the top of the building, we will then see that we have a redstone lamp on the sides of the building saying SGDOT as well. Now this tower right here, the tip of this antenna or whatever, the very tip of these redstone torches are to the height level. So if I were to place like a block there, I can't place any more blocks there because that's the height limit. Now one thing that's special about this tower as well, you can probably start to see it now, is it does have a QR code. So you could probably scan it. And in fact, let me scan it real quick. I believe it says it is called, or like it's either Sungate DOT or, yeah, Sungate Department of Transportation. That's what it reads if you were to scan that QR code. Now if we go down here, you can tell that I do have what is a prison. Now I did have a older prison here before, but I tore it down, well actually blew it up, to replace it with this prison. So in this prison, if you were either in adventure mode, well, if you were in adventure mode, you would be able to escape at all. If you were in survival mode, you could escape, but there's only one way to escape. If you mess up, you basically ruin your chances of escaping. The reason being is because it is surrounded by bedrock. So the only way in or out of this basically cell is through the way you came in. But you need to know how to get out through the way you came in too, so in order to escape. Now one thing you'll notice on the outskirts of these, or most of these towns, is I do have basically telephone poles for all these streetlights. If I were to, I basically have an inverted signal. So I have like a little building that's a power station. If I were to flick the switch off for all the streetlights, all the streetlights would go off. So like right from like there, you can see this one's still on, but from this forward point on, they're all off. And basically, this is the same way, except for it's underground. I'm using command blocks with a lever at the top here, so I can just do that if I wanted to. But then it would come back on once the command blocks cycle through. Over this section of this town, I do have a mini golf course. It's 18 holes. The only highest score right now is mine, and that is currently a 55. I do have certain obstacles, like I do have water features or hazards, and then sand as well. And some of the, I think there's only like 2 holes that have sand on them. For the most part, I have a couple holes that have water, and then just different types of obstacles or paths for the thing to go in. This actually used to be my house, and I had since converted it to a post office. I have basically like a little window section here, then down below sorting rooms or sorting chests to go to different destinations, and then up top a post office boxes. And then this is an old building of what this is. This is a new building of a teleport center. So if we wanted to go to a different town, and I have all the towns that we could go to listed in here. There are currently 12 towns. Oh, excuse me. There are currently 12 towns in this map. So if we want to go into Mongrove to Watertown, we could just click that button. It'll take us to the Mongrove or the Watertown teleport center. And from there we could teleport to the other locations. But I do want to show you this location for now, because this is actually a new tower that I had built as well. Got a tower there, but that one's not as nice as this one. This one, in fact, I do have water elevators in it as well. But I can't have all 4 going up to the top, just because of how I had the switches set up and how tall the tower is. So I had to kind of split those switch rooms up. But this tower is the most unique tower. I think probably the most favorite one I built, because it just steps up. It's not one big block. It kind of gets smaller as it goes up. So it is a bit different in that aspect. And one thing about this, this little section is Watertown. And I do have a tunnel here that we have as a toll tunnel. And basically you have to pay 1 iron ingot to go through to continue on the tunnel. Unless you have a lever, then you can just go right through. But anyways, this tower here I do want to go into, because we do have, of course, we mentioned about the subway station, but we didn't go into it. This does have a subway station as well. So we're going to go into there, and we're going to head over to Mystic City through the subway station. Now this one is a purple line. The one in Towering Heights where we started was a blue line. Now this is a terminating station, so that sign would just say terminating platform, whereas this one says inbound Route 3 Seaport. Now this is the main reason why I have resource packs in this server. 1, because I have audio sounds, custom audio sounds, and then 2, because I have custom images. Custom images I used for the maps for the subway system. So this one you can see I go from Watertown to Route 3 Seaport, where the blue line connects up. But we're just going to go right to the next stop, which is Mystic City. Now I do as well have a Nether Express and then just a regular express train, but we're not going to worry about those. So we're gonna go along and listen for just a moment.
The destination of this train is Route 3, Seaport. The next stop is Mystic City. Please remember to remove mine carts from the tracks at your desired station.
So I have custom sounds for departing and arriving at each station. Except for I don't have it set up for the express or the Nether Express currently. I have it set up for both the purple and blue lines, the normal lines. But of course, like I said, we are currently heading to Mystic City, and from there I will show you some other stuff. So, Mystic City, most of the buildings in that city, that is basically the only place that is the exception of me building all the buildings, because most of the buildings in there are actually built by a couple of my friends on the server here. So I think there's like one or two buildings, maybe 3 buildings that were built by me.
Please remember
everything else was built by them. Of course, the subway station, these were all built by me. We do have the Nether Express right in here. I don't have a map or anything for these yet, but because of how condensed they are, I mean, you can have like 2 lines, basically. You have multiple locations, basically, share a station. So in this one, I actually have an express line and a regular line, and this express line will take you straight to Route 3 Seaport. And in fact, we could do that real quick, because it doesn't take very long. You'll see. So the next stop here is like the airport. I think that's what that one. And then this next one is a massive, massive station, because it covers like 4 different overworld stations or something like that. And I mean, we're already here. We're already basically to the end of the line of what we would have been in the overworld. I mean, it would have taken a whole lot longer to get to this point in the overworld. And of course it did here in the Nether. I mean, obviously, because it's for every 8 blocks in the overworld, it's only 1 block in the Nether. But anyways, we're going back to Mystic City for the moment. Now, hopefully I'm not boring you guys too much right now. Hopefully you do find this interesting, because I do want to eventually, once I keep updating the server, of course I do this quite often, I am going to probably about once a month I can do a brief update video for this server. Of course it won't be as long as this video, but we will have an update video for this server, I suppose, every so often. Now this station here, of course, we're in Mystic City, but this station you can see there's a couple of paths. This one's all boarded up. In fact, this station is like brand new. I just built this, and of course we already have one section boarded up. That's because this is going to be for a new line. Now, one thing I will need to do, because it is dark in here, give myself some night vision. Okay, I have all the lights turned off because, I mean, there's no reason to have them on. So this is the new platform that I had just built out. It doesn't really go very far, but we have a platform here because this will eventually be a new subway line. But like I said, it doesn't connect up to anywhere. So each side, if we come down here, you can see that it doesn't go anywhere this way either. So yeah, that's why this is all boarded up, because there's nowhere to go this way. So we have it like right here. We basically have it so you can't even tell from right here, except for that sign that there's supposed to be something there. But anyways, we're gonna head out here. That building I built as well, that tower. You can tell I like building towers. I built this, of course. And then this building I built because this is a teleport center as well. But the rest of the buildings here, I did not build. And of course, this is a mangrove as well. So if we go this way, we will go back to the towers that we were just at. It's not very far over here, so you can see they have that tower and then the other one that steps up from there. Oh, and I do have the little Easter egg up on this bridge as well. If we go up here, no Easter eggs up here. Now over here as well, I was starting to build a new mini golf course, but didn't finish it. Anyways, we'll go back to Mystic City for the moment. Now, like I said, I didn't build any of this. And they decided to use these lanterns for the streetlights in this town, which is actually makes for kind of a cool aesthetic. And, I mean, for this town, they have a bank as well. This one's set to automatically open and close at night or during the day. Got a castle up in here. It's my friend's castle. And then a big tube tower, which another friend built for stuff. The city, the reason why we had the purple line is because, I mean, the city's official color is purple. So, got the purple line on the subway station, or subway line. Now, this right here is the border between the states. And I do have a maps here, which were an absolute pain to make. But I did it to make like custom signs saying welcome to Mongrove. So of course this is the border between Mongrove and Sungate. Now you can see going this way we are approaching Paradise Island, which is another island. Of course I have some of the lights burnt out on this tower. This was supposed to be a residential tower as well. Now Paradise Island is a lavish island, so they have emerald blocks for the streets and diamond street lights. And in fact, here we do have an old existing map. It doesn't show the entire world because we were like over here before. And then, I mean, this is where we started out as. So you can see it is a pretty large map. We do have like an airport here as well. This is a floating island, so it's up in the sky. This, of course, is an island built in the sea here. Then you have roads that kind of connect up to different towns. You have a town there. Oh, I did build a replica of a mansion right here. We have other towns over here, one there, one there. That's the Route 3 Seaport Station right there. We have a town right there, of course, where we started there. Another town way down here. Then we have new paths that kind of go out here, come across underneath the airport over here. Of course, the path out here to where we just were. And then out here, then we have Atlantis, and then more out this way. But I haven't done it. Another town up here. And then another town that kind of goes across and then up from there. So it is a very large map. Of course, that's why we have a teleport center. Now, with the subway station and Towering Heights, I might have mentioned I had originally opened it and then closed it. And then just recently reopened it. And that line originally came to here and stopped in Paradise Island. But because, of course, it's a lavish town, they don't want to abandon train station in their town. So they just blocked it off or tore it down and basically let it end right there. And now that's not even used. So we'll fly across this way. In fact, if we kind of veer off this way, we'll come across to the floating island, which is home to the inverted skyscraper. So we have a skyscraper that goes underneath, kind of hangs down underneath the island. Starts from here. This is the other church. You can see it has like two bell towers here. But the inside is virtually the same as the other tower, or the other church. Except for the ceiling is different. It's flat ceiling instead of, they use glowstone blocks instead of having open with the wood as well, but no matter. It's basically, like I said, identical, other than those two differences. Now, like I said, the inverted skyscraper right here. Another friend had built this place here. It's like his house or something like that. Now, this island doesn't have a teleport center, so we do have a teleport button to get over to the main path here, which is Route 7, which takes us over by the airport. The airport currently is closed. I mean, I have all the lights turned off. We do have a teleport center here and a subway stop. But if we go inside... Oh, that's right, we have the night vision currently set, which is good because it is dark in here. So I have like a couple things here. We're checking areas here. Security scanner, baggage claim. I mean, it's very compact. Then you have the gate or jetways right here. Now it is a very short runway, but I mean, and more than likely a plane would stick out into the taxiway there, but you know what? It's fine. And of course you have a tower for control tower. But yeah, and then we have an observation tower here. And off to the left you can see this big dome tower. That is the Spleef Arena, but unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't quite work. Not as planned anyways. I was supposed to have teams. Unfortunately, if one of us clicks on that, it'll set everyone to that color, where it should have only set one person that color. Then I have it here. I mean, this does work, where you can use this to select the number of levels you want up there, between 2 to 8. And if you press start, it should spawn us all up there, but it didn't. And then, of course, all the command blocks that are used to run this. It's not fully functional, obviously, yet, but maybe eventually. And then, of course, over this way I have the Woodlands Mansion that I replicated. This was an absolute pain to build, but it's exactly as if you were to walk into a randomly generated Woodlands Mansion. It has everything that we would find in one. With down to the exact detail of how this one spawned. Like I said, it was a pain to replicate, but I mean, it's done, so I mean, that's nice. And of course you have the stairway up here going to the upper level with the little thing there. But anyways, that is that. I'm going to go out through the side here, patch it up, because we're going to go back this way. This is that subway station I mentioned, Route 3 Seaport. This is where the purple and blue lines connect. So we have the blue line, which is elevated right here. Although we do have an express blue line down below. We have Nether Express, the purple line down below. Like I said, we have the express blue line down here. Although the express blue line I do have the audio set for, but I don't have the maps or anything set. as you could see. If we go up here, though, I do have the blue line map set up. So if we just go up here, up onto the platforms here, you can see we're currently at this station. So this is the middle station on this line that connects to the purple line. And you have lines that go to Towering Heights where we started, and then Greenville Flats, which is at the other end that way. But which we're not really going to go to this episode. Another teleport center. This way, I did build a replica of a pirate ship. This is, of course, a pirate ship that is not damaged. I don't know if I have any loot in here or not. I do not. So there's no loot in this. But this is exactly how you would find a pirate ship if it was not damaged. And then that mansion there was built by a friend. In fact, there is an abandoned subway station at that um, house. Now this is the little power station here. So I have two switches, one for buildings that use power, although if it's unless it's not connected up to the line here. But there's like my house I know is, so if I were to turn the power off from this, it would turn the power off in my house. Then of course the other one here for all the street lights. So if I was to, in fact, let's clear the effect. Oops. There we go. So we have all the streetlights on right now. So if I do that, every single streetlight should be turned off. I mean, of course, because of the chunk loading thing and everything like that. They aren't all turned off, but anyways, theoretically they should all turn off. There are some other hidden things around here. Like, one of my friends built this stuff. Who knows what it's for? What is that? Jump boost. How did I get... Oh, it must be from that beacon. So this, one of my other friends turned this house into a museum, which I find is hilarious. Because my other friend, my friend Frank here, doesn't play on here anymore. He hasn't for quite some time. So my other friend who does currently play on here, turned this into a museum. Like I said, there used to be a subway station right here. In fact, I think the entrance was like... Yeah, right here. Let's fill this in. Clear all those. It is dark again, so effect, give me effect. If I just go up, I can do that again, couldn't I? Let's just fix that real quick. Not like it matters because this is an abandoned station, but still. Of course, the ceiling was a bit lower on the stairs, so you were banging your head. Now, this has older signs on it because Towering Heights used to have called the Minecraft Trade Center station, but it's not anymore. And of course, the sign to Paradise Island, which doesn't connect up anymore. But this is an active line, so we could go from here to Towering Heights currently. It would connect up right into the station there. Now lastly, well, I mean, we do have other things scattered around the map too, like I made these cell phone towers that scatters partly through the map. I have this event center which is never used. I have basically levers to turn on sections of lights. So if you wanted to have like a small section being used, like let's say you wanted to use like this corner, you could have like these 3 lights on and then wall off the rest of the area so you don't have to turn all the lights on. But anyways, that's what that is. And usually I have a fireworks display set up here, so I have a bunch of buttons. Although this year for New Year's I'm going to set it up a little bit differently. I'm going to have it automated somehow. But I basically have like that button that shoots off all of those ones up front. This one that shoots off all those ones up front. And then just individual ones from there. But anyways, we kind of looped back around to here, to Towering Heights. And there is one other section I want to go in real quick. And that is past this direction here. Actually, we didn't get to Atlantis, did we? That's my friend Frank's igloo. That was built well before this whole path was built. Now you'll see like a little spur right up here off of this because I was going to build a survival arena off that direction. I started building the dome over there but never finished it. And in fact, here you can see this is the only section in Sungate where there is no streetlights. That is because it is a national forest. They called it Snowcaps National Forest. So, of course, I have federal law, no camping in national forest. So if I connect up this way, have another route that goes off that direction to another town. And then this way off to this town that's not even named. But I have a post office here, which is kind of ironic. But anyways, we'll go back to Atlantis real quick, show that off, and then I think basically end the episode there. So hopefully I didn't bore you too much on this episode. Like I said, I've been kind of wanting to do this for a while just to showcase the server. But anyways, like I said, probably maybe once a month or once every 2 months, I can do an update on the server, on what's been done. Like, probably more than likely next time I do an update, this building will be complete. This probably won't be done. But, I mean, there's a lot still to be done, and that could be done. So we're gonna go, said Atlantis, so that would be on the other side. Be number 10. So Atlantis, of course, is an underground, or underwater rather, town. Still have night vision set up, but that's fine. So I have this fountain in the center of town here, with the water coming up from the actual water here. Although it's not very much water from the top of the dome here of Atlantis to the actual water here. But you can see we're right on the other side of the floating island there. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show real quick, which I just remembered, is if we continue the path off this direction, we do have kind of like unincorporated towns off this direction. I have this tower here, which is kind of different. Then I have this giant wind turbine that I built on the top of this mountain. This was, I think, Mountains Valley. Yes. Then I have a teleport center right there. And right on the other side of Mountains Valley here, I have a pyramid, which when set to nighttime, I have beacons that will come on the tower here, or the pyramid rather, and the mini pyramids. Come on. Anytime. I guess I could set it to midnight. There we go. So yeah, I have the colors set up, designated for each color block. So of course we have the yellow for the gold, blue for the diamonds, green for the emerald, and then white for the iron. So I have that set up for the pyramid there, which is kind of cool. So we got a wooden turbine there. Doesn't obviously work, but then we're back around to Paradise Island. So yeah, I don't think there's really a whole lot more I want to show off, other than maybe, well, Greenville Flats, I think. We haven't showed that. So this is the end of the blue line here. And we do have another tower here as well. And then, of course, the blue line. And this is actually where I tested out to do the sounds for the subway line. So I have like...
This train terminates here. The next stop is...
Or, yeah. And then all the
Greenville Flats.
town locations.
Airport. Purple line. Blue line. Transfer here for the This is a Nether Express train. The destination of this train is now approaching.
And then I use this to kind of, at least for this one, and then I did most of the timing when I was actually building it.
The destination of this train is Towering Heights.
So I kind of did that there. But anyways, then I built a new path off to this direction here. You can see I do have like tunnels that go through here as well. Now one thing you'll probably eventually notice is the land starts getting glitchier. Like here, the chunks kind of go missing or bad, because of the different versions that this server has gone through. So we have like another town here that I have connected to. I don't think I have that labeled or anything. And then this will be connecting to a new town. I just built this path not that long ago. And this connects up to underneath the airport, which I mentioned when we looked at the map earlier. But anyways, I think that's just about everything I wanted to show off anyways for this server. Can't think of anything else I need to show off right now. So we're going to head back to Towering Heights and then finish off the video there. So yeah, that is obviously just about going to do it for this episode though. Once again, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was different, and like I said, I hope I hadn't bored you all to death. But I wanted to do something other than boring you to death with stone block as well. So I mean, I figured I've been wanting to do this for quite some time, and I figured this would be a good way to do so. But anyways, once again, hopefully you've enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a thumbs up. And of course, as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye!